Many praise Spain's public transportation, but that's mainly in big cities. What if you live in a small town? Because a lot of us don't live in big cities. Today I'm going to show you my life in Spain without a car, how much it costs to get a driver's license, and what I think about all of this. Hello! Welcome back to my humble abode. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I've seen other people discuss in the United States. In the United States, it's super normal, super necessary to have a car. Now, I've been in Spain for almost 2 years, and I think it's necessary and even required to have a car. Well, that depends on many factors, mainly where you live in Spain. Spain is very diverse. Spain isn't just Madrid, it's not just Barcelona. Madrid and Barcelona have subways, they have a good transportation system. But what happens if you live in a small town in Galicia, in the north of Spain? Is it really necessary to have a car? Well, I'm going to show you what my life is like without a car, how I get around, and what I think about it. And then I'm going to share my final thoughts about whether I think it's necessary to have a car or not. In case you don't know me, I'm Anita Mateo, I'm Cuban, I live in Galicia, Spain, in a small town, not in a big city, and I make videos every Friday about my life here in Spain and also, well, when I travel to Cuba, going back to my roots, to my country, so I invite you to subscribe because every Friday we have a new video. I have to say that it's already September, so goodbye summer. Today, it just dawned and it's already raining, no sun. As they say here, the weather changes drastically overnight. And it's like, well, August is over, so goodbye sun, goodbye autumn has started, my love, just forget about the beach. Good thing I spent a few days in Mallorca, well, you'll get to see that video. Next week, I'm going to make my own breakfast because obviously we're going to start the day. And today, I have to go to Coruña and I have to head into the city. So I'm going to tell you how I do it, how I've lived these past 2 years without a car in a village in Galicia. I'm going to make breakfast right now. Stay with me. And, well, first, so you understand a little, oh, let's fix it. Well, I'm already getting dressed because I'm about to leave. The bus leaves in 40 minutes and I have to walk to the station since I'm a bit far. I wanted to share this so you understand my perspective. You have to remember that I'm from Cuba and you might say, oh, in Cuba there are no cars, there are no vehicles. Yes, there are. But generally, a young girl like me would never think about driving. In Cuba, it's much more common for men to drive. The cars that are there are super expensive buying a car in Cuba. Oops, I dropped this. Most of the cars are really old cars, but it's true that now there are also some more modern cars. The ones you see the most are cars from the 50s, the Ladas, which are those Russian cars. And well, for some time now, more modern cars have started to come in. But buying a car, as we say in Cuba, is more expensive than buying a house. Over there in Cuba, buying a car is much more expensive than buying a house. So obviously, for many people, the idea of buying a car doesn't even cross their minds, but for others, it does. And in some cases, the people who have cars are those who inherited them from their parents or their grandparents, so it's kind of kept in the family. That car, that vehicle, and usually it's always men who drive it. It's much more common for men to drive than women. Women, we don't really have that mindset of driving. I have a friend who used to drive, and I know some women who do drive, but they're not the majority, you know? It's like the majority. The general idea is that men are the ones who drive the buses, the taxis, the motorcycles. Usually, it's all men. When you saw a woman driving, I've never seen a woman as the first one in Cuba driving a bus. And I did see some women on motorcycles, and I thought it was really strange, like a woman riding a motorcycle. Because that's the mentality and the way of thinking we had. When I came here to Spain and saw that a woman was driving the bus, I was like, a woman driving the bus? I see that here even elderly women drive, little old ladies who could be my grandma. Women of all ages drive, young women, and I just say, wow. It's like I was really impressed because honestly, that's not something you see in Cuba. And I thought, well, if those people can do it, then I can do it too, obviously. Hi, Phoebe. Say hi to Phoebe. Even though I do have that fear inside me, I have this feeling like it was never on my mind. I never thought about it. Like the possibility of one day being able to drive a car myself, it was something I just didn't have in mind. But now here in Spain, yes, well, I've wanted to learn, but it's because of, well, you'll see. We're going to take the bus, we're going to the city, and we're going to see a bit of what life is like here in Spain without a car. And well, besides my daily life, always, every time I travel to Coruña for anything, whether it's to visit my friend Gretel or to do some work, because I get a lot of collaborations and they're always in Coruña. I mean, opportunities are almost always in a city, not in a village like where I live. Well, it's not a small village. Carvalho is really huge, really big. A lot of people live here and there's everything here, all the supermarkets, all the services, everything. But either way, the closest and most important cities are Santiago and Coruña. Usually the one I visit the most is Coruña because it's closer to me. And well, it's part of my daily routine. Not having a car here in Spain, I always come to the station. These are the buses. The truth is there are buses, there's a schedule, and Carvalho, the town where I live, has very frequent buses to the city of Coruña. I mean, there's a bus every hour and the bus arrives exactly when it says it's going to. Sometimes there are intermediate options. Some are direct, others go through small towns, and some take the highway. When is there less transportation? Is it on the weekend? I avoid traveling on the weekend because there's a lot less transportation. And sometimes they don't come on schedule or they're a little bit late. So during the week, it's super punctual. These are the buses back here, and now I'm going to take the one that leaves at 11 in the morning. I'll arrive in Coruña at 12. I don't know if it's that one. No, it's a blue one. I think those white ones go to Santiago. Well, let's go. That's life without a car. Still taking buses here in Spain, just like I did in Cuba. But well, here the buses in Spain are much nicer and cleaner. And besides, where I live and when I go to Coruña, it doesn't get super crowded. I remember that in Cuba, the buses would get packed with people. There wasn't enough room. It was just too many people. Here, you sit down, relaxed. I've never had to stand. There's always a seat. The bus is super empty. It fills up a bit as it goes through the little towns, but nothing out of the ordinary. On weekends, when I've traveled, it does get much more crowded, and when there are festivals in the towns and so on, it's crowded too. But usually, on a normal day, you're very comfortable. Here's the station. All the buses are here. I'm waiting for mine, which I think is this one. There aren't many people waiting for the bus. And well, to take the bus, public transportation here in Galicia requires you to get a transportation card. This is my card. Well, I'm going to cover the number. This is my card, which is from the Junta de Galicia Public Transportation of Galicia. Each trip from Vieja Coruña costs me €1 with 66 cents for the card. If you don't have the card, the trip costs you about €5. That's why you really need to get your transportation card. It's super important. And well, I'm telling you that this is here in Galicia, here in a small town. In Madrid, there's the metro, there are buses. In every place in Spain, it's totally different, and each place has its own specific card. I can't use this card, for example, if I go to the Canary Islands. Well, I'm already in the city, but I need to keep going since the bus drops me at a station and I have to get somewhere else. There are several options since the city also has buses, public transportation, and taxis. The truth is that taking a taxi here in Spain is very expensive. I consider it quite expensive. It's obviously much cheaper to take the bus. But since I'm in a bit of a hurry, I think I'm going to take a taxi at a nearby stop. Besides, I don't really know the bus routes here in Coruña. So let's take a taxi and I'll tell you more or less how much a taxi costs me. It's a pretty short distance. I mean, I could literally walk. But today I have my period. I don't feel very well, so for comfort, let's take a taxi. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, you can't deny that if I had a car, I wouldn't have to go through all of this. So I think the answer to whether a car is more comfortable, you all are already drawing your own conclusions. Now, is it necessary? You can't live without a car, but you also can. I mean, both things are possible, but for comfort, you can. Obviously, if I had a car, I wouldn't go through all this route and I would get to my destination much faster. And, well, I've now arrived here at my friend Gretel Space's house. The taxi cost me about €5, and honestly, it was a pretty short ride. But anyway, I think that here in Spain, taking a taxi is pretty expensive. At first, when I arrived in Spain, I didn't know about public transportation. I didn't have a transportation card or anything like that. Honestly, I took a lot of taxis and I think I wasted a lot of money for nothing. Hi Vanessa, hi Anita, I'm making a video. Tell them to subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe here. Go ahead and subscribe or else a flower will appear on your bed.
Wow, that's creepy. And honestly, I spent so much money on taxis. Now I think, oh my god, why did I spend so much money? If you have a car, you'll have extra expenses since you'll need to buy one first. And here in Spain, cars are not expensive at all. There are really good cars at a very good price. Secondhand, I know people who have bought cars for 1,000, for 2,000. Then you have to pay for insurance. And since you're a beginner, the insurance is quite expensive. I think it's 1,000 and something or something like that with Mutua Madrileña or something like that. That's what I know so far from what I've heard from my friends. Most of my friends from Cuba who have come and emigrated here are gradually getting their licenses. My friend has been here for about 7 or 8 years, and after spending about a year here, she realized that she lived in the Canary Islands where having a car was really necessary, so she got her license and her car, and she's had it for a long time now. Honestly, I realized that having a car is pretty necessary. And even more so if you live here in a small town. She lives in a village and a car is really necessary, just like if you live here in the city. I don't know, let's ask Gretel, my friend, now. Gretel lives here in the city, so let's see if she thinks it's really necessary, how she lives, how she gets around without a car in the city. Living in a small town, I've come to the conclusion that I do think a car is necessary, especially since I have to come to the city so often. Sometimes I spend too much time on the bus because it's over an hour. And it's true that it would be another expense, but it's an expense that in the long run really solves a lot for you. Of course, you also have to spend on things like fuel, gas, and all that, if you live in a small town or village, honestly. I see a car as much more necessary here in Spain. In the United States, for example, everyone I know has a car. Everyone, because over there everything is far apart and it's really necessary. Do you absolutely need a car to be able to get by in society? Here in Spain, not really. I get by without a car, but it's convenient if you live somewhere with limited public transportation. There's not that much public transportation because from one small town to another, I don't think there's that much transport. It's always better to be in a city. You live here in Coruña in the city and you want to get your license. Do you think it's essential, in a city that's not Madrid or Barcelona, to have a car? Let's see. We're talking about Galicia. Here in Galicia, what do you think?
I think having a car is important in any city in Spain so you can get around easily and not have to depend on public transportation. Previously, when I lived in Madrid, I used the subway often because it was fast. It's a big city, so the subway helps you get around. It's true that Coruña is much smaller and doesn't need a subway, but relying on public transportation is still inconvenient. For example, when you visit me here in Coruña.
Well, I've been recording my day. What is my life like without a car? How do I get to places?
Is a 1-hour bus ride uncomfortable, or do you need to keep an eye on a bus that leaves in 30 minutes?
Minutes, and by car it would be half an hour. Would I be here?
It's faster. I want to get my license, but the thing is, of course, the license costs money. It's not a very cheap thing. Let's just say...
That's another topic I want to discuss. I'll mention it when I get home since I already checked with a driving school about prices, and honestly, it's not cheap. Getting your license here costs quite a lot of money, and also...
If you fail the test?
You fail, you have to take more lessons, and the lessons cost money. And well, that's already an issue. But tell me, have you lived here for 2 years without a car? Can you live without a car?
Live without a car? Of course, for example...
In the US, it's really tough without a car.
To survive in the United States. Yes, people who arrive and already have one, everyone is driving.
Yes, if we compare with the United States, because most of the Cubans we know from another country are in the United States, and that's it.
Everyone is driving and everyone...
They drive and everyone has a car. So here in Europe, here in Spain, well, in Europe in general, people take more time to get their license. Yes, because it's not so essential. You can survive, but in the long run, it's something you need to do. I think it's very useful.
You can get by with public transportation?
You can survive.
Even if it takes longer, public transportation still gets you there and you're never stranded?
It always arrives on time. In the city, it's easier because I live in a small town and getting around is much harder. Here, the airport is right nearby. Sometimes I have to go to the Santiago airport and take a bus really early and go all the way there, and I spend a lot of time just doing that. If I had a car, it would be much easier, much more direct.
Soon we'll be driving through the streets of Coruña and Gandar. I'll be the first person to get in that car with my daughters.
The thing is, wait, don't interrupt me, I'm scared. Aren't you afraid to drive?
I'm scared, but every day it goes away a little more. Why? Because I want to dare myself.
Sure, that's something I mentioned earlier in the video. In Cuba, we never aim to get a car since it's uncommon there. No, not there. Here, all the young people, most of them do it, but over there, first of all, women don't drive as much. It's not so common, right? And it's very hard to buy a car. I never thought I walked down the street.
No, and I bought a car in Cuba with what money?
Exactly, and well, nothing else. The conclusion is yes. City life is more convenient. Without a car, living in a city is easier. In a small town, having a car is much more necessary. Now you'll see when I have to go through all the crowds, and also what I have to go through to get back home, and sometimes I have to leave early. I'm always racing against the clock because I might miss the bus, since I don't have any other means of transportation, no other way to get around, and I always say, I have to leave at a certain time. I don't have much time to stay here since my town lacks opportunities for collaboration. Everything is always in the city.
I want to picture us in this situation, you and me driving. How are you? How am I?
We'll make it. We'll make it.
The people who comment me, I do see it. I'm going to give you, go for it, Anita, go for it. Come on, you didn't win your gas car. Yes, we'll meet at that point.
And well, the truth is that I also walk a lot. Now we came to another place here, to a park, and we do everything walking. And honestly, walking is very healthy. In fact, I much prefer walking instead of being in the car all the time. If I have a car, being in the car, well, I don't know. I'll see when I have one. But I really like walking. I think it's something that relaxes me a lot, that helps me de-stress when I have a worry or I'm stressed about something. I just go out and start walking, and it really clears my mind and gives me a lot of ideas. In fact, many of the ideas for my videos and collaborations that I have to do come from that. Like when I don't know what to do, I walk and listen to my music, or I walk and think. And in that moment, so many ideas come to me, and it's super healthy. I don't know, you tell me if you're more into walking or if you prefer to drive everywhere, I don't know. Another challenge I haven't mentioned is that living without a car involves more than just transportation. There are also a lot of things that having a car makes easier for you. It's another day now, and we're at a supermarket. Another thing a car really helps with is everyday things, like, for example, grocery shopping. Usually when I go grocery shopping, I always walk there and walk back because I don't have a car. So I buy things little by little. I don't do like a really big shopping trip unless my friend tells me she's going shopping too. Then I go with her in the car and do a really big shopping trip. But usually I buy specific little things that I need little by little, and I go several times a week. Since I don't have a car, this is the only option I have. We're at the supermarket to shop. I have something to bring along with the groceries, which I'll show you at home. It's like a cart, but it's like a cart, yeah, you know? Like a shopping bag cart. I'll show you when I get home. It's really useful for shopping when you don't have a car and need to carry heavy things. I generally don't use it that much, but that's because I do small shopping trips. But if one day I do a big shopping, then yes, I use it. Hello. Oh, well, I just got back from the gym. Now I'm actually going to the gym, and here I am in chef mode. I just got back from the gym. We automatically start making dinner. Today I just felt like it. It's not like I eat more than usual, you know? But today I felt like making some rice and some beans. I'm making white beans. Look, these are white ones. I like them. I like all kinds of beans, legumes, all of that. It's been a long time since I made rice and beans, so today that I'm making them, I'm showing you. Well, let's talk about all of this, about the car, Spain, and so on, because I'm making this video now at this point and not before. I haven't had a car ever. Well, it turns out that I'm studying, but Phoebe, well, they lent me the little book to start studying for the license. Let's see. The truth is I already finished chapter 1. 1 is about the parts of the road, what you have to recognize and all that. Now I'm on chapter 2, which is about traffic signs. It's been tough for me to learn and memorize them. I admit it, I don't know. Give me a tip already. My friend gave me one too. Which is like, when I'm on the road, I should observe the signs and kind of recognize them because there are just too many, way too many. I'm on page 20 and I've already read this chapter twice because I just can't memorize the signs. But well, it's something I want to work on. I'm not going to pressure myself either. I'm going to take my time because I don't know, I just don't want to put too much pressure on myself because when I'm under pressure, I don't get things done. So calmly, I'm going to study the book little by little. Then I'm going to take tests on apps because that's what they told me is more effective, taking tests. And here on my phone, I have the prices for a driving school that's close to my house. Well, I asked for the prices and everything so I could let you know how much this costs. Let's see, they have several packages and package 1 costs 195 and this includes 195 euros. This includes the enrollment fee, the physical book, the virtual book, the test app for 1 month, follow-up, and explanation of the test. So if you don't pass the test this month, then the next month you have to pay for the test again. I guess the in-person and online classes, transportation, exam, and the L-plate. That's like the cheapest plan, and the most expensive plan costs you 385 euros, which includes all those same things. But in addition, it includes 10 practice sessions. So if you don't want to pay for this plan, that has the 10 practice sessions, you pay for the cheaper one. But then, each practice session will cost you 22 euros, and if the practice is on Saturdays, it's a 25 euro fee, 95 euros. These are like the prices separately. The theory exam is 35 euros, the practical exam is 35 euros, the processing fee, 30 euros for the renewal. I don't know what that is. 100 euros plus the fee and the test application, 25 euros per month. These would be the individual prices. I'm not sure if you understood me, but it's a lot of money and you should invest in this. I don't know the price in other countries, so let me know in the comments. That's all. I wanted to make this video for you. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I hope it was useful, interesting, and informative for you and all that. I'm saying goodbye. I'll make dinner for tonight, then maybe later I'll shower and start editing this video to upload for you on Friday. Because I lost my phone broke, and I lost the video I was going to upload this week, so I had to record this video super quickly so I could have something for you this week. I'm sending you a big kiss, and I'll see you next Friday with a new video. Bye bye.